Zech Keenan. I am super stoked to be hosting our inaugural Super Gamer Boys live episode. And to join me on this sweet, awesome quest for greatness, I got Garrett Morlang. How's it going, man?
What's up? How's it going? Long time no see.
Good. I got Adrian, homeboy Holmes.
Yo. Thanks for having me on.
And a new up-and-comer, the man with the sweetest beard I've ever laid eyes on, Dan Elliott. How are you, sir?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm chilling. Just chilling, bro.
Straight chilling, man. So, Super Gamer Boys Live is a part of our big mainline podcast, the Super Gamer Boys, which you can check out on YouTube or your favorite listening podcast client or app of choice. Overcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you name it. We're there, and we would love for you to check us out if you love this episode.
Heck yeah.
This episode is brought to you and supported by all of our Patreon subscribers. And without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do the sweet, cool stuff like we're doing right now, which is talking about the, I don't know if I want to use the word controversial, but
I mean,
definitely,
Just say it, man.
definitely not in the best of graces of a video game. Cyberpunk 2077.
There we go.
So yeah, I think that's a little bit more accurate than saying controversial. I don't know.
I mean, other words come to mind, disaster, beta, early access.
Yeah, those are also very adequate words. Very adequate terms. Throughout the course of this episode, we won't be going into many spoilers on the main story, but feel free to spoil some of the side quests that we've done. Because it's gonna be kind of hard to Cyberbug 2077.
I like that.
Thank you, Max
I like
Brack.
that.
That's good. But yeah, we're gonna talk a little. It's gonna be hard to talk about the game without kind of spoiling some of it. So, and
no
throughout the
spoilers,
course,
please.
yeah, no main because Dan's only played
I played
freaking
20
3
hours.
hours.
20 hours.
No.
20 hours.
Don't lie.
That,
3
that's a
hours.
lie.
Don't
That's
lie.
a lie.
Minus 17.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're a liar. And you said you go to church. Anybody from the audience, if you guys got questions or comments or heckles, send them our way.
Yeah, we're watching the chat. We're all watching the chat.
And we'll make sure we keep you included. So before we jump into this, guys, okay, I think it's best to lay a little bit of the groundwork. Okay, this game, Cyberpunk 2077, working title because it feels like it's still in beta. Hashtag Dan played 3 hours.
Ooh, boba.
Get that to trend.
That's just the running joke the rest of the episode,
Rest of the episode.
Yeah,
Anything he
just keep it
says
going.
is like,
Keep
well,
it
I don't know. The game was first announced in May 2012. It's spent roughly 9 years in development, if you can believe it.
No, not at all.
No, I don't.
I don't believe it. Developed by CD Projekt Red, if you can believe it. Published by Warner Brothers. Available as of now, not on PS4, but on PS5, Xbox One, Series X, and S, and Google Stadia. If anybody from Google still has their Stadia and they're still playing it, you guys still have it.
They got a big W. Theirs is the one that's the best running outside of PC.
It's smooth. Yeah.
It's still not enough to, in my opinion, it's still not enough for me to be like, ooh, I need to go buy a Stadia.
Oh no, but I'm just saying the 6 people who are they're all laughing at us now.
They got
like, I got Cyberpunk.
Yeah, like what do you got?
And that, and that's only if those 6 people actually are playing on really good internet.
Fair.
Like so many other caveats to that.
True.
So many other caveats. Original release date was on April 12th, and then it got pushed to that's 2020, April 12th, 2020. And then it got pushed to September 17th. Then it got pushed to November 19th. Then it got pushed again, finally, to last week, December 10th. And I got to tell you, I would have been comfortable with him waiting for like another year.
Yeah.
Yep.
to push this
For
thing.
real.
100%.
It's won over 100 awards at E3 in 2018. It won over 100 awards, guys. This is just adding to one of the is adding to like it's climaxing to that point of like, wow, this is disappointing.
I mean, even in 2018,
all the accolades.
Yeah, even in 2018, at that point, that's like 6 years in development. So I mean, people were pretty hyped for it. It was like most anticipated game, E3 2018, all this stuff. Yeah,
and rightly so.
Yeah, it looked pretty dope.
And to be fair, I mean, I know I've kind of been a part of this, giving the game a lot of crap right out of the gate. It really does have a lot of things to hang its hat on. Like it's got a lot of really cool innovations in it.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, absolutely.
For sure.
The last thing I want to mention is this game received 8 million pre-orders and broke the record for it beat out The Witcher Wild Hunt for the most purchases. So next award, most disappointing release of 2021.
I like that.
Yes, maybe that will actually be a part of the Game Awards nominations next year. What is your what is the most disappointing release of 2021?
I mean, they had
what is the bottom of the barrel?
This year they had most anticipated, the stupidest award ever. Maybe next year they'll add most disappointing.
Why not?
Like, isn't every game like? Aren't you looking forward to every game that's coming out? Like, what is that?
That's what me and Adrian.
Like, what does that even mean?
That's what me and Adrian were saying on the show. We're just like, really? Like, isn't that just everything?
Like all of them?
Yeah.
Most anticipated.
Oh my gosh.
That's literally him throwing in like, well, we got to fill an extra 30 minutes to make sure we can actually break even on this thing. What award do we do?
Yeah.
Most anticipated. Anyway, this is a Cyberpunk 2077 episode, not a Game Awards. But so let's jump into it. Let's just start off at a really high level first. Okay, let's just kind of go round robin. Adrian, we'll start with you.
Fully here.
Hold on, the stream just cut. The stream cut. It's got to come back on.
Oh,
at least it did for me anyway. I don't know about anybody else.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey, Garrett. There you are.
My
Garrett,
Discord,
you okay?
yeah,
I hear you.
I think my Discord just decided to update there. Like all of a sudden it turned off completely, and then when it started back up, it had the little bar for an update. So that's cool.
Right before we were about to talk about the game, huh?
Thanks, Discord. Okay, go ahead, Adrian. I think we're back. I hope we're back.
There we go. Yeah, I see you guys. Looks like we're back in the chat. I see it on the stream. Cool, we're good.
If you caught the episode that came out earlier this week, I gave you a quick soundbite that I said my biggest compliment for this game is that the world itself, as far as it being realized, like being the construction of it, I think is on par with Rapture in BioShock, and I should say of that class of world design. Now, the design of the world being that good and the execution of the world being that good are two different things. It looks like it should be a bustling, thriving, living world. It is not. And we can go into depth on that more later, but I'm just trying to keep it surface level, like you said.
Yeah. We'll jump. I got some thoughts on that too, but yeah, we'll jump into that later.
Yeah. I mean, and so far it's you know that part in Rogue One. Oh my God, I'm not remembering his name, but the Imperial officer, when he was like, we were this close to greatness. That's this game right now. So
yeah,
I'll stop there.
Okay, that's fair. Dan, moving to you.
Yeah. So the joke that everyone's making is I've only played it for 3 hours, but I played it.
Well, they only made it for 3 hours, so
yeah, that's true. That's true. I think overall it's a fantastic game. You know, playing. I picked like the nomad lifestyle, and so you hop right into the story. I do like the overall, like how the game flows, where you will have a conversation going, and then there's like 3 different options on dialogue that you can pick. So it's cool that you can kind of shift and change the outcome of like the game right from the beginning, which is pretty sick. But it has like this like GTA Watch Dogs kind of vibe to it, which I'm really digging so far. The whole like atmosphere is really cool with like the lighting. I know a couple weeks ago, like when I was on one of the episodes, I was talking about ray tracing.
It was all about that.
Like the ray tracing is sick. Okay, the ray tracing is sick. And I'm playing on Series X. I'm playing on Series X. So like overall, I'm loving it so far. I know there's been a lot of like negative comments on the game and all this stuff, but at the same time, like I'm having a good time. So
yeah, cool. That's good. That's a good starting point. Garrett, what about you? What are you thinking?
So I am absolutely loving this game. So I think I'm the only one playing on PC. You guys are all on Series X, correct?
Yep.
So I'm playing on PC. I originally was only playing on like medium to medium high settings on my laptop. Unfortunately, rest in peace, my computer. It still does have my laptop, but even still, I was shocked at how good it looked on medium PC specs. Like I was like, oh, okay, like that. Like even though I don't have ray tracing turned on because I have an RTX card in my laptop, it's still like the lighting is still insane, and the reflections on the water, slick road, that type of stuff. And it doesn't have like the not fogginess or like maybe blurriness. I don't know. I feel like whenever I see screenshots from from the consoles, there's almost like a little fuzz to some of the texture and stuff. Where even on medium to high settings on my laptop, like I don't have that. But what I've actually been doing is I've been using the NVIDIA GeForce Now, their streaming service. Dude, I have hated on Stadia. I've hated on Amazon Luna. Like all these streaming services are not great. And the biggest thing for me has always been the input lag. I've been playing on GeForce Now. There's like zero input lag. I don't know what crazy technology they're using, but there's no input lag for me. And I'm able to play on ultra settings with ray tracing on and still get like 60 frames per second because I'm playing off a supercomputer in one of their server warehouses or whatever. So I've been loving it. Nope. It looks beautiful. I can just plug in my controller and play with a controller or mouse and keyboard or whatever I feel. As far as the game goes, I'm loving the mission so far. I'm loving the world. My only complaint is like you can tell there's rough edges, and when you hit a rough edge, it's really rough. Like all of a sudden, there's like people are like jumping that guy in that car and they're running up like they look like they're holding guns, but they're not. Like their hands are empty or something. And all of a sudden the car explodes for no reason, and then like all of a sudden all the explosion, like then everything populates. Like it's like really janky.
Like
so I have still hit like hiccups even with a supercomputer. So it's like okay, like things aren't perfect, but honestly, like the pace of the game for me has been fun. I love shopping for cars. I love all the car options that are always thrown at me. Like just all sorts of that.
You want to buy a car?
Yeah.
You want to buy a car?
Exactly. It's like text messages like every 2 minutes, it feels like. But I don't know.
So I think I must be really...
So overall, I'm loving it. I'm having the time of my life on this.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I think I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Garrett. Although I think I'm kind of probably more in the middle. Like there's parts about the game that I'm like, this is really good. Like I'm less like, but it's so like kind of what... Adrian said was that it's just really close to being great. Really close to being great. Right. I wouldn't say it's a beta, but it's definitely not done. Like it's just not finished.
And especially for the consoles, I feel like.
Yeah, especially like so I'm playing it on Series X and it runs really, really well on my Series X. There's moments where it like does glitch out on me where like one time I went to go like equip pants and then the pants said that they were equipped, but my guy had no pants.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's happened to a lot of people.
So I like delete. So I was like, okay, we got to unequip, and then equipped it again. I was like, okay, there we go. Now my guy's got pants on. So it's like I haven't run anything that's like broken the game, But when I did fire it up on my Xbox One, that's when this game really has problems, and that's when I can totally see how ticked off a lot of people are about paying $60 for this game and having it run like crap. It crashed on me 3 times on my Xbox One. The graphics look like they're from the 360 era. Like it is so laggy. It's kind of like, like on PC when you play a game on PC and you crank it all the way up to ultra settings, but your computer's just not ready for it on ultra settings.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what it feels like on Xbox One. Like it's just really choppy. You can't do anything. Like it's terrible. Like it
Models don't load in.
Yeah, it's so bad. Like I'm not really a graphics snob, but the game is just so unplayable on Xbox One that I just can't. I can't. Like I'm like, never mind.
I'm not really one either, except I just paid $500 for this.
For the most powerful console in the world.
Right. I have the most powerful console in the world, quote unquote. And this is not showcasing that for me. I know they said that it's there's a Series X PS5 update coming down the pipe. But CD Projekt Red, I'm sure Sony and Microsoft told them, hey, nobody at CD Projekt said, hey, maybe we should put a small unit together to get cracking on these so that we can have it for them when it comes out.
Yeah. Well,
we knew about PS5 for what? We did. The public knew. They probably should know way ahead of time. So what was the deal?
It's for us to speculate. I mean, we don't really know. I mean, none of us here actually really run a video game studio. We don't really know all the intricacies that go into making some of these judgment calls. At the end of the day, it's obviously a software issue. So it's obviously I think that CG Projekt Red probably just somewhere mismanaged their time, mismanaged their money, or mismanaged some sort of resource, and they just weren't able to get the game out on time. Plus, when they said that the game has gone gold, they're committed now, and they got investors. So it's not like they can pull back and delay it any longer. So they were kind of stuck between a rock and getting sued. Is literally the the trade-off there. So, let's see. I want to get to a couple comments real quick. Max Prax says that's why they're refunding Xbox One and PS4. You're 100% right, and that's what I do appreciate about Project Red.
Which is interesting, though, with just to talk about that statement, though, like them refunding it, they had totally thrown that out there and without actually consulting with Xbox or PlayStation. So I know Xbox has a return policy, but up until just an hour ago, PS4 did not. And just an hour ago, news came out that PlayStation is now refunding digital copies of games, or just Cyberpunk. Like they're not going to do other games, just for Cyberpunk. Yeah. Maybe they're making a special. So it is kind of crazy. Like, what is CD Projekt Red doing over there, where they're just like making these claims and then like, oh, actually we should have probably followed up with Sony on that, and actually made sure they'd be willing to do that.
Right.
Who's probably really, really mad is Xbox, because they spent all that money on that marketing campaign 100%. And it has blown up on them big time. 100%. If I'm Microsoft, I'm not looking to work with them again anytime soon.
No.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. It's gonna be interesting. Yeah. Angel, forgive me if I misread your name. Angel LOL says, "Are big updates enough to fix Cyberpunk? It's a poor comparison, but like COD and all these beefy updates, would it be worth using that much more space to have a better functioning game?" That's an excellent question. Garrett, do you want to tackle that first? What do you think?
So.
Well, you're playing on PC though. It's kind of different for console gamers.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, the experience is going to be different for me. But if you want me to answer this, like from my opinion, I will. But it's up to you. Do you want me? Go ahead. Okay.
No,
So yes, I think big updates are enough. Because even there's a lot of games that come out and aren't 100% when they first come out. I mean, even look at I don't know why. I thought of something.
What's it about?
A minute ago. I'm just going to pull from last year. Let's just say I thought there was something this year, but I can't remember. Last year, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order comes out. That thing was a mess. They came out with a bunch of patches for that, and that thing, as far as I know, runs a heck of a lot smoother now. Like no bugs. Yeah. People love the game, which I'm surprised it didn't get more. It
got nominated for GOTY. Yeah.
Oh, did it this year?
Didn't it?
I think so.
It was one of the nominees. Yeah.
I think
it got nominated for something.
Got nominated for something, yeah. But
most anticipated.
Most anticipated, yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, I think it's enough. But I'm trying to remember. So what's the file size on? Because he mentions like file size. Is it worth taking up that much more space to have a better functioning game? What's it like on console? Like what's it's like 50, 60 gig or something?
On
70,
Series,
right?
yeah, no, on Series X, when I had to download, it was like 59.
Okay.
59 point something.
So really for like a huge open world game, that's not that bad.
No.
So even if it's like another like 20 or 30 gig in upgrade or updates, honestly, I would be cool with that, especially if that means like, hey, it's gonna run now, and it's gonna be it's gonna have like maybe not locked, but like as close to on a Series X, as close to 60 FPS as possible, and things aren't popping in and out at random. There's not people like getting yeeted off into space or something like, I don't know, like crazy bugs. So yes, I think it is enough, and I think it would be worth it for the size of updates that could come out now. I also want to refer back to, now I don't remember the launch of Witcher 3, which is also a CD Projekt Red game, but I feel like I remember people mentioning that game wasn't great at launch either. And after a few patches, now look at it, like now people revere it as a masterpiece.
It was real buggy too, but it wasn't like this.
It wasn't like this? Okay.
It wasn't like this.
But they were also, think about it, when they designed Witcher 3, they were only having to think of Xbox One and PS4 and PC. Right. Where now they had to rebuild the game for freaking
7 or 8 different consoles, basically.
Yeah, like a good, like way more consoles
and platforms. I mean, not consoles, but platforms. Yeah.
That would fly for me if they didn't start. 8 years. I mean, I know they didn't start actual development until 2016 or so, but they were already doing concept stuff for this back in 2012, and that was before we even got PS4 or Xbox One.
Oh yeah.
So they should have started with those and PC in mind. So that's weird to me that they're the weakest when they were the first ones that they started to work for.
My guess is halfway through they had to pivot and they just like allocated the resources. But anyway, back to what Garrett was saying about like the size of the game. Being like playing from what I've played from it, I think I sunk in about anywhere from 7 to 10 hours. I'm really bad at estimating my game time, but I will say that the size and the breadth of this city is ginormous.
It's huge.
Like it is one of the beefiest games I've ever played. One of the beefiest single player open world games I've ever played. And if they've got to patch on another 50 gigs to get this thing to run right, that's fine, because the amount of nooks and crannies that you're going to be exploring in this world is seemingly endless. So, yeah, bring it on, because this is a game you're going to be playing for like a long time.
Both in the city and out. Like there's like kind of like the outskirts around town where you can head out a little bit.
Yeah, even those are interesting.
Crazy.
Yeah, like it is. It's massive. So that takes me into gameplay. We kind of already talked about a little bit. I got some questions about that. So from what we've played, let's talk about combat. We got another question. So I've been waiting to play, and this is from MaxPrax33. Says I've been waiting to play until it's fixed enough to be enjoyable. I want a GTI 5 Blade Runner. Is the storyline really good, or are you just enjoying the equipment? Let's jump into the story. That was going to be my next question. I was going to talk a little bit more about the gunplay and stuff like that, but let's go ahead and talk about it. Storyline, guys. Keanu Reeves is in this video game, and I don't know about you, but I love me some Keanu Reeves. Okay. Dan, so you've played a maximum of 3 hours.
To be honest, I haven't even seen Keanu in the game yet.
Man. Oh my gosh.
Guys, I got to like the open world section, and I've just been exploring. I haven't gone back into the.
Okay, next time I decide to do a live show, Garrett.
I'm just being live.
I want to vet
vet
the hosts next time. I get to have a choice, because, man, Dan, Adrian, what do you think about the story since you've played past Keanu Reeves?
I mean, the story that I've seen is really good.
What's that? You got out of a car?
I came from like this junkyard, and that was about it.
Oh man!
Moved to the city.
Man, Dan.
Oh man.
I think it's a story it's a story we've seen before, but it's still told well. And that's when I let stuff slide, is when if you we've seen this story before, but as long as you tell it well and you tell it in your own way, then normally it'll end up working out. The performances so far from at least the main cast have been really, really good. I was kind of iffy. I had a female V. I was kind of iffy on her performance at first, but she kind of ended up, I kind of warmed up to it. She grew into it. I mean, Keanu is killing it as Johnny, of course.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard without doing spoilers and stuff. I'll say overall, I was invested in it. I wanted to see where it was gonna go. The side missions, unfortunately, sometimes they're really hit or miss for me. Some are really, really good, and some are like, do I really want to do this?
Yeah.
But the ones that are good are really good. So,
would you recommend Max Prax wait to buy this, or do you think the story is good enough for him to want to jump in and get it, provided he's playing on like Series X?
See, here's the thing though, is games like this are doing their best to try to immerse you in the world, right? I won't give any more specifics, but let's just say I was talking to Johnny Silverhand. We were having a conversation, and he was sitting down smoking a cigarette, and he had the cigarette in his mouth. He was talking to me, and then he took the cigarette out of his mouth, and he moved his hand, and the cigarette stayed there in midair.
Same thing with me. That happened to me too.
And then it moved, and then it was 2 cigarettes in the air. And it wasn't in his hand anymore. And then finally, when he came back in that path and put it back in his mouth, it was there.
See, maybe that's supposed to be like that because he's
that's a reach.
Yeah,
that's a reach. But I say that to say you should want this story to hit you in the most effective way as possible. And when I saw that, I was in the scene at the up until that point, and as soon as that cigarette started floating in the air, it took me all the way out.
Was it?
That's not good.
Did it happen at the part where you rescue a certain someone from a certain like multi-tier
location
base?
No, this happened in a diner.
Happened in a diner. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Nope.
I can't say.
Okay, that's fine.
But it happened in a diner. We were having a conversation, and he was smoking a cigarette, and I all I could look at was the cigarette. I couldn't hear what Johnny was saying. I couldn't think of anything else. I was just like, oh my God, how he's right here. Nobody, thought to watch the cigarette and make sure it doesn't clip.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
oh man.
To answer your question, I would wait, and it's not because the story's not good. It's because it could be potentially death by 1,000 cuts with all the little things they still need to work out that would end up taking you out, and the story that they want to tell you would not hit you the right way that they wanted to hit. So
that makes sense. It's like watching a bad anime,
I get you.
Yeah.
And I think that is like super distracting, if you're trying to sit down and play a game that you really want to invest some time into, and there are some glitches in that, and it's like, okay, do I invest this time right now, or do I wait until there's like some fixes? I think in the next couple of months there's going to be some big updates that will make it worth our purchases. I think especially like some of the videos and gameplay I've seen, especially on PC, this game runs pretty phenomenal. And Garrett could.
It's like a totally different game.
Yeah, 100%. And like even the menu settings, like moving my cursor around with my controller, was like way off. And so I spent like 20-30 minutes just trying to adjust the sensitivity on my controller.
So you played for 3 hours, and 20-30 minutes of that was you messing around with the sensitivity?
Bro, I gotta be able to aim. Like if you're doing the tutorial, you gotta be able to aim your gun in combat.
Oh man.
And I could not aim.
If you want to watch it, go to his Twitch channel. It's probably in his VOD. Just watch him playing the settings for a while. It's great. It's great.
Oh my gosh, it was like I couldn't even play the game because like the sensitivity was just like off. It was terrible.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that sucks. That's how I felt so far. Yeah, my Series I must have gotten lucky because I feel like I haven't really had any issue, especially on Series X. I like how you can actually drop it into like performance mode or quality mode.
Yeah.
So like if I'm just like walking around the city, I'll have it in quality mode so I can see how cool everything looks. And then when I'm getting ready to do a fight, then I'll drop it back into performance, kick up the frames. But even at that, the game still looks pretty good at 60. So like it's a noticeable difference between performance and quality, but even at performance, it's still good looking game. But yeah, no, I think good comments. Like I definitely think for a lot of people, you kind of hit the nail on the head, Adrian. Like it is all about immersion, especially in the story of this caliber and in a world of this size. That if you have these tiny little moments where your character has a floating cigarette or is missing a face, then
or hair.
Yeah, it's gonna take you out of the moment, and you're gonna miss key story beats because you're too focused on why your game's not working. So, yeah.
And then for the person who asked that question, I have played this game pretty extensively, and I haven't told any of these guys here, but I am gonna end up probably waiting from this point on until the patches and stuff come out, because it's happened to me one too many times where I've been taken out of the game, and I've been waiting too long for this game to not have the experience that they want me to have. So waiting a little bit longer is not going to hurt that bad for me or for you.
That's very fair.
Wow, that's dedication there to be so many hours into it and then just be like, nah, I'm gonna wait. I don't know if I can do that. Like
well, you don't have to. You got it. You got the game,
PC, bro.
Yeah,
You're playing on PC.
I guess that's true. But just trying to put myself in your shoes, like I don't know if I could do that. Like I don't know if I'm a big enough man to do that. I'd be like, screw that. I'm a child. I'm like a child on Christmas morning. I'm gonna tear into those presents.
No, it was tough. I mean, like I said, I really want to see where the story goes, but I want it to be worth it in the end. I want when the credits roll after however many hours, dozens of hours that I put into it, I want to be able to sit back and go, man, that was awesome. That's what they wanted me to see.
Yeah.
And right now, even though I'm not a game developer, I know this is not what the game development team wants me to see.
Yeah.
Is this build right now. So.
Very, very true. Very good point. El Chizo says he's decided to wait until the product is done too. So he kind of shares the same sentiments as you. He says, I thought the same thing as someone who hasn't played it. I was very worried about the delay of the game and what we've seen typically happens when games get delayed. So, and then Max Prax says he's gonna wait. Just this summer, I picked up my Red Dead game. I never finished 7 years ago.
So is that the first Red Dead
Redemption? Red Dead 1?
That's the first Red Dead?
Oh, man. It's a good game. Good game.
Well, I think even Red Dead 1 is better than
right now, yeah.
27% right now. So yeah, on, dude.
There you go.
Do your thing.
You do you.
Even like GTA 5, like that game has been out for so long.
It's
But
the
I feel
very
like
first. That game is the very first game to cross 2 generations. No, 3 generations of consoles.
PS3 and 360. Yeah.
Yeah, like that was like one of the big marketing games they had earlier this year. And so like I think Cyberpunk is going to be one of those games where people are going to be playing it for the next
It wasn't Skyrim?
4 years.
Skyrim's not out on Series X or PS5 yet.
I thought it was coming to Game Pass.
It should be.
Is it getting like a Series X upgrade though, or is it just a backwards compatible mode maybe?
It better be for $7 billion. It better be.
It should be.
Yeah.
It should be.
But I mean, like, it's Skyrim, though. I mean, like, how much, like, do we really want like a Series X version of Skyrim?
Yeah.
Did we need an art? Did we need
Did
we need a ray trace version of Minecraft?
Yeah. Depends on who you ask. Yeah, sure.
I
wouldn't play it.
Use that same argument for Skyrim. Then.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I've played enough Skyrim to be like, okay, yeah, I get it. It's fun. Can you just make another game now? Like, anyway.
Can I make
Yes, Mr.
confession?
Morlang.
I've never played Skyrim.
Well,
Yeah,
everybody.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
What?
I haven't either.
All right.
I was more of a
So,
Fallout
what
guy. I
we've-
was more of a Fallout guy, but Fallout boy,
What
I guess
we've-
you could say. I was more of a
I'm
Fallout
not even
boy.
gonna say the games that I haven't played because it's a big list.
Oh, man.
So what we've established today is that from now on, Adrian
I'm
and
a
I will be
fake
running
gamer. I'm a fake
show,
gamer.
and so is Garrett.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So
You know what? Can we call JJ? Because JJ's the only
Yeah,
one
let's
here.
get JJ.
I mean, these
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
are not finishing games. I don't know.
Yeah, at least JJ's honest.
Yeah.
El Chizo says he wants to know Fallout 3 or New Vegas, Garrett.
Both, man. I was 100% just deep into both of those. I loved them to death. Love both New Vegas and Fallout 3 for different reasons, but yeah, that's not this
I did
podcast.
not
but yeah, I
like-
loved them.
I didn't like New Vegas.
Really?
Really?
Moving on. I get a lot of gamer hate for that. But yeah, I wasn't really a fan of New Vegas, honestly. I really wasn't.
Yeah, that's fine.
3 had the better soundtrack.
Oh,
And Liam Neeson. So,
mhm.
True too.
yeah. Which leads us to the ultimate question. Should Cyberpunk have Liam Neeson?
Oh, yes, there better
Yeah.
be DLC with Liam Neeson in it.
Yeah, I want DLC
That'd be
with
dope.
Liam Neeson.
I
That'd be
wouldn't be
dope.
surprised.
That'd be awesome. I want Liam Neeson in it as a bad guy. That's what I want.
Oof.
That'd be awesome.
Because somebody took something from him.
Yeah. Something got taken. Oh, man.
You took my microchip from me.
Yeah. Oh man. Moving on. Let's talk about. I had some comments about the city itself. Maybe even this more like a design choice, honestly. So this game is Liam and Terminator LMAO is what he wants in the game. Sorry. This game is really interesting to me because it's far and away the most rated M game I think I've ever played. Like hands down, the most rated M I've ever played. And that comes down to even some like the weapons that you find in this game. I don't understand why having a a spiked dildo is a good idea for anybody's weapon.
Clearly, you've never played Saints Row.
I have not.
There's a dildo bat weapon, and
Oh
it's like
my
the
God.
strongest weapon in the game.
Yeah, see, I don't stuff like that's kind of a turnoff for me specifically. I'm just like, this is kind of like watching I don't know. I just feel like stuff like that takes me out of the world, and I'm like, no, this is
It's just loony.
you can't
It's just
you can't have a super serious, dark and gritty world and be like, oh, kill this guy with a dildo. You know what I mean? Saints Row, it makes a little more sense, a little more tongue in cheek. You know what I mean? But I don't know. That stuff like that kind of. Was there anything like that, or am I the only one, or is anybody else? You know.
I didn't mind it that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's I wouldn't say misplaced is not the word.
Especially in this world
peculiar.
that's like just so like just drenched with just sex. Like that's like the whole
Yeah,
world. Like
that
that
too.
is like
Yeah.
everything is just like literally every other storefront is like a strip club and stuff like that. So I don't know. It feels like
That's your violence.
Jig Jig
that-
Street.
yeah, it's like it's such a violent sexualized world. It's like okay, like for me, like
It's-
that makes sense. Like it doesn't make sense why I'd use it, but it makes sense why it's in the world, kind of thing.
It's hyper everything
Right.
eyes.
Yeah, everything
Which-
is like way like exactly hyper.
Which I understand what they're trying to achieve with that, because in one sense I do kind of appreciate it to a degree, just because they're using violence and sex to kind of showcase how depraved man is. You know what I mean? Like they're really trying to get you to see just how dark and deep the rabbit hole kind of goes for humankind, especially, given. I mean, that's kind of cyberpunk in general, but I mean, they really do a good job of like accomplishing that feel. Like I think that it's going to be a lot more. It's going to be a lot better once the game is a little more solid and they're able to kind of capitalize on a little more of the environments. Like you'll be walking down the street in this game, and then some guy's literally just getting shot to death because he doesn't have the groceries that he ordered. Like it's where in a world where your body is just a vehicle. There's no respect. So in that sense, I kind of get it. It just feels like I
Well, they kind of said that in the lore too, that that it's so rampant in Night City that it's almost like a rite of passage to get robbed.
Yeah.
So I kind of expect that level of craziness in a town where that's like, it sounds like a bullet point on a travel flyer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. I still kind of feel that, like some of the weaponization of some of these sex toys doesn't make any actual human sense. I don't like, all right, man, let's go mug them, get your dildo. You know what I mean? Like,
it depends on where you find it though, too. Cause if it's like, if I'm getting attacked in a hotel room and there happens to be one in the drawer and I'm trying to fight for my life, I'm going to bash you in the head with that dildo. I'm going to do it.
Okay, fine, fair, but I'm not gonna run around the street and pull it out as like my main weapon. Like,
no, and that's where the video game part comes into it, because it goes into your inventory.
Yeah, it's a silly video game thing after that.
Yeah,
once it's out of place. Yeah.
Which brings me to the next thing I want to talk about before we kind of close it up here is the RPG elements in this game. My word, fellas, I gotta say I am over the moon with how customizable your characters are.
It's crazy.
Like everything can be modded.
Yeah.
Weapons can be modded. Armor, eye sockets, hands, feet, you name it.
It's everything. Overwhelming. It's so overwhelming, honestly. I
spent 20 minutes adjusting my eyes.
Okay,
so that's sort of the 3 hours.
You spent 3 hours playing this game, and almost
you knew what you were doing.
Of that
you knew
was
what you were
adjusting
doing.
your mouse and checking your eyes.
I didn't know if you could change it. So I had to be super specific on which eye color I wanted.
Well, you can't change the eye colors. You can only change what the eyes do.
And that's the thing is,
I didn't know.
For how customizable your skills and your perks and your weapons are, I think the customization for V should have gone way deeper.
Yeah.
The fact that I can't make my V look like anything, it's just like preset faces, and you can't they're 10 years ago games had stuff where you could do your cheekbones and
Fallout,
your eyebrows and all that. Yeah,
Dark Souls.
But I can't do any of that here. It feels like you're choosing from a set of skins to the one that's like, that's the best one out of this bunch.
I 100% agree. And what's even more disappointing is the fact that you can't change it after the game starts.
Yeah, what is that about?
Like in a world that's literally like you can't in a literally a world where everybody's getting everything changed all the time at any moment. I can't go in and just like change like my hair.
I should be able to change my entire body.
Yeah.
I did not find
how customizable everything is.
I did not find that out until I'm 15 hours in, and I just found that out, and I'm like, oh shoot, I don't want to make a new character, because there's definitely things like I would change about my character now, like the looks and stuff, and you can't. Like I'm stuck. I'm so bummed. Yeah. I'm so sad. I really hope that's a patch.
So long.
That's the character creator.
That sucks.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to get clothes too.
Angel LOL brings up an actually interesting point that I kind of want to cover just because I think it's so stupid that's even in the game. Thoughts about changing your ween size? LOL is what he says.
Again, it's more Saints Row-esque humor.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It doesn't affect anything.
It's just another reason why it's stupid. Like, it would make more sense to have it in there.
Right.
You don't even see it in the game either. Yeah,
exactly. You don't see it in the. Well, you do see it in the game. Yeah. If you don't walk
play
around
more
with
than
pants
3
on
hours
or a shirt on, you see it.
Yeah.
But if you what are they called? Escorts? If you sleep with the escorts, you don't see any genitals anyway. So what is the point of you putting that in there?
Yeah, I wish that technology would have gone towards customizing your face and your arms and everything else.
They were so worried about your meat size. What about my eyes? Can I?
That's what I'm saying. It's like
I'm not staring at my meat the whole game.
Honestly,
well, you are if it glitches out like a Max Prax.
Okay.
Where,
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you seen them clipping out of pants?
True.
yes. Just like popping out the zipper, like whoop.
Like, man, yeah. It's to me that adding it's the same thing with like Conan. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
The
Not
Barbarian?
Conan. Not Conan the Barbarian. Conan Exiles.
Exiles,
okay?
yes.
Oh,
Which is a really good game. I love that game. But yeah, they have the same thing. I was like, you can change your endowment in that game. Like, what does this do? Why?
Nothing.
Why is this here?
Nothing.
Like it's literally some like kid behind his computer is like, I could change my pee-pee.
Yeah.
pretty much.
That's dumb. Or actually, he's probably using it to like look at a CGI version of an animated naked woman.
There's
Probably
easier ways to do that.
I know, like whatever.
Shit.
But anyway, that
don't cost $60.
I do like how they at least made it so you can turn it off. It's like I don't even.
Yeah, you can go
I
to
don't
settings
need
and
to
turn off
know.
nudity completely. Yeah.
Yeah, which is nice. So that makes it a little bit more less rated M than it could be, which is cool. But I don't know. So okay, so we're at the tail end of here this episode. Let's get into our final thoughts. I do want to touch real quick on the music. Composed by Martin Blauwitz. I butchered that name. I butchered that name like the Butcher of Blaviken. Any Witcher 3 fans in here? No?
Yeah.
No?
I'm with you.
You got it?
I'm
You
with
got
you.
it? All right.
I'm
All
with
right,
you.
good. Which is awesome. He did the Witcher 3 soundtrack, by the way, too.
Mhm.
It's awesome. Super, super good. Also wanted to note that he did it in collaboration with Paul Leonard Morgan, who did the soundtrack for Limitless, both the TV and the movie, and
gonna say
the
that
movie
movie?
Dread. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
So, yeah. And I got to say, my thoughts on the soundtrack, fellas, is that it is primo.
Kicking.
Fire.
So good. So good.
Like, it's like Doom Eternal status for me. Like, I jump into this game and the fight starts, and I'm like, yeah, let's kill some dudes. You guys are going down.
I've had that song when you know how in the beginning
Yeah.
when they do that montage of you and Jackie like working your way up
Yeah.
Yep.
to getting where you are, and it's like and it splashes of memories.
Jackie. I
That
love
song
Jackie
is
so much.
so
good.
good.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
it's
Jackie.
such good music. My personal favorite is like even the radio stations, like just the variety of music. They have so many
Yeah.
radio stations. There's so many songs on each station, and like there's some bangers. Like you get going, I'm like,
Now,
oh yes, thank
Zech,
you.
do you know, is that actual artist or is that all music created for the game?
So I'm not sure.
I think some of them are artists, some of them are music created for the game.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Because I was like, I haven't heard any of this stuff before. So, I mean, granted, it's 2077 supposed to be, so it would make sense we haven't heard anything like this
Right?
before.
Right.
But
I mean,
I mean, some of this stuff is just it's killer.
It's good.
yeah. Yeah, it's a good soundtrack. The sound design in the game, too, is also really good. I really enjoy the sound of the guns and the sounds of just the city in general.
When it doesn't
At least when it's
glitch out.
working.
Yeah.
When it's working, it's pretty awesome, pretty good. Driving mechanics good. Granted,
They're all right. They're all right.
77 playlist on Spotify.
for a let me preface that it is good for a third-person RPG game. I mean, I can't think of any other game out there that's a third-person RPG like this where the car mechanics are actually good, except for maybe Mad Max. Which is
that was
more
the
of
whole
a
game
action.
was built around that.
Yeah, exactly. Like that was
That may
cool
be
concept.
why my experience is different then, because I've been driving in first person to try to keep like the immersion going.
Yeah, gotta go third person.
Yeah.
You'll
Yeah.
like it a lot more.
Well, yeah, because driving a car is difficult because your field of view is like this
Yeah.
when you're driving in a car, and then when you're on a bike, if you turn a little bit, like you'll end up doing like a 360 before you can go where you want to
100%.
go. That's one more gripe I have. I hope they fix is the navigation in this game is
Yeah.
terrible.
Oh my gosh.
The mini
It's
map
terrible.
is
But
such a tight range. So like it's like turn
Yeah.
here now.
Yeah,
Now turn. It's like
wait, and I'm on my bike.
can
I'm on my bike, and then
you can change the zoom on the mini
Can
map,
you?
though. Yeah.
I have to
What?
find that option
Oh,
because
I've
I
not
was
seen that.
digging for
Yeah,
it.
you click
Oh man.
man, what button was it? I discovered it on
In the
accident.
settings.
Yeah, tell us all about this. Dan spent more
Dan-
time in the settings than any of us here,
Tell
so
us
he
about
would
those
probably
settings.
know.
I spent a good amount of time looking at the sensitivity in the settings. I did not find anything about the mini map.
Another question
I did a
coming in.
deep dive.
Another question coming in from Max Prax. Is there a monetary system in the game? GTA has the stock market, making it nicer than just the odd jobs.
Not yet.
No.
Nah, just
Yeah.
like side gigs and side missions and main mission stuff. But
Yeah.
selling stuff,
I
like you
say
can
not
sell
yet
junk
because
items.
yeah, not
Yeah,
yet because they said that there's not going to be any. They're free DLC like Witcher, but
Witcher
I
did
don't
not
know.
have free DLC.
Mm.
Oh, $20 a pop for Blood and Wine and whatever the heck the name of the other one was. Those weren't free.
No. I'm sorry. Expansions. Those were expansions. I'm talking about just like
Oh,
updates.
updates?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? How did you get
No.
free DLC? No. Okay. Yeah. No, I think that's probably I can totally see that happening. I think this game's gonna be a little bit I feel like they spent so much time and energy in this game. I got a pretty good feeling that with them not really focusing on Witcher 3 afterward, I think that they're gonna build this world out even more.
I hope
And
so.
I got a feeling that it's
Well,
gonna be more GTA-ish. What?
So there's already, well, I mean, who knows how long it's being pushed out now, but they've talked quite a bit about a multiplayer mode coming eventually. Originally, it was supposed to be 2021. What do you guys think about that? Now that we've had the single player mode, what do you think about multiplayer mode coming?
No, those teams
Let's
are
fix-
focusing on 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, those teams are focusing on single player now.
Yeah,
Right,
let's
okay.
fix that first.
Right. I'm not saying that's what I'm saying. I think it's definitely not coming out next
2022.
year. It's going to be delayed 2022 or further, but how do you guys feel about that? Like having multiplayer eventually. Does it sound like a game, seem like a world that you'd want to dive into with your buddies and do a heist or something like that?
Look, anytime you
Absolutely.
guys want to go do a
That'd be
heist,
dope.
okay, and murder a bunch of dudes, I'm there. In the virtual space, not in real life, but in the virtual space, I'm there.
Shoot, I was going to call you this.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
That's it.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I would love to see. I mean, this city, the size of it alone is begging for more than one player to be there.
It's huge.
I feel like.
Yeah.
But like Garrett was saying, at least hopefully they push this out so that because multiplayer is going to come with its own entire host of challenges and bugs and things like that. So they really need to be rock solid before they introduce any kind of extra stuff like that. Because now you're dealing with connections and latencies and syncing stuff up and, in-game events, servers, all that different kind of stuff. So that's a huge challenge. So I want them to be ready as possible to tackle something like that. So
Yeah.
let's get the bedrock done first.
Yeah, for sure.
I think there's a lot of options. Like I think of Red Dead Redemption 2, like their online gameplay is pretty dope.
It's come a long way
I don't
though.
know. Have
'Cause
you
when it
guys-
first came
yeah,
out, I feel
yeah.
like it wasn't too hot.
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't.
GTA was the same way. It was worse.
Yeah.
GTA wouldn't
Yeah.
even go.
But I think it's like the same thing. Like there's a lot of options that they could go with for online multiplayer. But like you guys were saying, like I think they got to figure out the single player first, and then eventually get the multiplayer working.
I hope
That'd
they
be
wait. I
dope.
hope they push it off because if they're trying to do both at the same time,
Yeah.
it's not going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing. And you know what's interesting too, though, is even if they do make a multiplayer for this game, this is CD Projekt Red. Have they really made anything else besides Gwent that isn't single player? That isn't multiplayer? That isn't single player. I mean,
I'll Google it real quick. I don't know.
no. The answer is no, guys. They've only ever made like The Witcher and like some like other kid game.
I mean,
yeah, I can't remember the name of that one though.
Yeah. See. So I mean, I'm not saying that they can't make a multiplayer game. It's just usually when a studio steps out of what they're normally good at, with Rockstar kind of being an exception, it usually ends up being like kind of B-rated.
Mhm.
Insomniac did a really good job with the Ghost of Tsushima multiplayer. If any of you played that yet, but that's just another kind of one-off. So we'll see. I wouldn't put all my eggs in that basket. Really, the core of this game is going to be the single player.
That
And
needs
if
to
it-
shine.
Yeah. and it needs to be hopefully. I know they said they have a patch coming in January, and then another final patch coming in February.
Right.
So with that said, right now, okay, PC, Xbox, PlayStation, I think we can all agree this game isn't worth $60 right now. But is it going to be worth $60 in February?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's a tough call.
Well, I think it's worth $60 now if you have a PC that can run it. But that's the catch. Like you have to have a rockin' PC to run this thing. So that's a huge caveat there. But other than that, no, I don't think it's ready. But if their updates do everything that they are saying and promising, whatever their word means now, because apparently their word means nothing at this point.
Squat.
If they can actually pull off what they think they can pull off in 2 months, then I think it'll be great. But that's the biggest thing is like I know I've lost a lot of faith in them at this point with just even though my experience has been good, seeing what is happening with everything else, I'm like, no, this is not good. This is garbage, and their word is kind of worthless. So we'll see what happens in January, and and then also with the update in February, if anything even comes to change, or if it's again keeps getting pushed. Oh, March. Oh, April. Oh, May.
Yeah.
That's the big kicker that worries me is they said they have a big patch coming in January. That's 2 weeks.
It's like mid-January.
Yeah, I would
that's
I would hope it's mid or late.
A month.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's enough time to make such a substantial.
Well, it's not going to be
because they're taking time off for the holidays too, so you can probably discount a week off of that. So,
or a day.
Depends.
Yeah, everybody gets Christmas off. Get back to work.
Oh, man.
I mean, you can't put it past them at this point. That's kind of what they've been doing. So,
but
I just don't know if that's enough time to make as substantial patches as they need to get it to where it's going.
Yeah.
I feel like they almost should have just said February and then put out one fat patch then.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I wonder. I'm kind of interested. It's since they're doing 2 patches. I kind of wonder what the first one is going to end up fixing, just because maybe they're just like, okay, this is focus on like the mainline stuff. Focus on focus on just like the main story, some of like the main areas. Get all that patched up, cleaned up. February we drop all the other peripheral stuff that we kind of got a feeling not a whole lot of people are going to really be paying attention to.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be one way they're going to go about it. But again, I mean, what do I know? I do social media for a living.
I mean, that makes the most sense. You want to make sure that if somebody buys this game, they can get from A to Z, without any hitches, because that's where most people are going to go is just story mission, story mission, story mission. They're not really going to do side quests.
Yeah.
The majority of folks. So that makes sense to focus on that.
Yeah. And if anybody's played a CD Projekt Red game, you know that the meat and potatoes of a CD Projekt Red game is in the side quests.
Oh, yeah. But this is 8 million pre-orders. There's no way everybody knows, how to play a CDPR game. So
yeah, more people have pre-ordered this than have purchased Witcher 3 in like the first year of the Witcher 3 or something like that.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
Yeah,
we'll see how many refunds come in though. Now that Sony's opened up the gates and they're allowing it, like Xbox, I wonder how that'll hurt their numbers. Man, that just popped in my head. Like, if people start just flying off the handle and refunding games, that affects your development budget.
Bottom line, yeah.
Yeah, so like now all of a sudden, like, oh, we can't pay people to like a huge team that we had before to fix the game now. So like it could make updates take longer if there's less people that they can even handle on the team. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know, because a lot of studios will do that. They'll hire a ton of people while they're developing it. After the game comes out, they go on the skeleton crew to save money because they don't need it just to do updates. But at this point, they're basically they need a full team because they're still developing this game. It's not done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. CD Projekt Red does a pretty good job of taking care of their people, though. So
yeah,
that much is true. Those people are getting paid so much money. They're making like, I think it's like they make 10% of the total final sales as a bonus on top of what they're already getting paid, which is like, if you look at like their cost of living, and where are they from? Sweden?
Poland.
Same thing.
They make employees at CD Projekt Red make like more money than your average person there.
Mhm.
So like they're in like the upper echelon
It's
of
nice.
classes. So like, yeah, those people are gonna walk out of there making a killing.
Yeah.
But
It's the Nintendo of Poland.
yeah,
Nintendo employees make fat bank,
yeah,
especially for living in Japan.
Mm.
So
yeah. Oh man, if only I was born Japanese with some sort of ability to make good games instead of being a short white guy in America. Oh well,
you can still learn to make games.
I'm not gonna be as
Still
good.
got time.
No, my life's pretty much over. I'm 33.
Yeah, it's over. It's done. Done for.
So, alrighty, gentlemen, Super Gamer Boys. Appreciate all you, even you, Dan. Even though I gave you
Oh
the
my
worst
gosh.
amount of crap.
Poor Dan. We
Of
still love
anybody-
you.
I'm just saying the 3 hours I played were the best 3 hours of any game I played.
He might have
this
had the best experience out of all of us.
Yeah,
I know.
And you know what? I'm happy to
I've
hear
had, like,
it. I'm
no
glad
bugs.
I'm glad it did that for
Yeah,
you.
it's been good vibes only. You know.
That's because he spent like a quarter of that in the menus
Hey,
and
don't
changing his
don't worry.
eye.
Don't add up all the numbers. Don't even worry about it. All right. You know, gameplay's dope.
Uh,
The ray tracing's
oh,
dope. All right.
it's the Series X doesn't even have ray tracing dropped on it yet.
But yeah, you're right,
That's how
Yeah,
good
I'm right.
it is. That's how good
That's
it
how
is.
good
for
it
him,
is.
though.
bro. I
He's
got
like-
neon lights up in my room. I got them
It's
color
the
coordinated with
feeling
my,
of ray
my
tracing.
Xbox.
Yes.
It feels like ray
Come on.
tracing.
Yeah, it
Dan
feels like
lives in ray
tracing.
tracing. Everything is ray. He's
It's
like,
a
oh
mindset.
man.
It's
He,
honestly a
he's,
mindset.
There
he
you
just
go.
sees the game. He just perceives the ray tracing. He
Every
can
game has
feel
ray
it.
It's ray traced
Oh,
here.
man. Like a
Just gotta look.
superpower. Yeah. Oh man, you guys are awesome. It's been a great night. Be sure to hit that like button on our Twitch page. Hit that bell, ring that bell, and be sure to follow us and keep up to date on anytime we go live. We want to do some more of these Super Gamer live episodes, and so we're still working together a schedule. But we thank you everybody for hanging out with us. Be sure to check us out on our podcast weekly. Last month for Patreon
bi-weekly.
subscribe, bi-weekly episodes. Thank you, Garrett. We for Patreon subscribers, we actually talked about The Last of Us 1, which is great, and you can check us out over at supergamerboys.com/Patreon. Invest in us for $1 a month, if you got it, and hope to see you around. Anything else? All the social media. Garrett, where can people find you online if people want to, yell at you
I was just gonna say real quick.
or send you love?
Is that a shirt? A Super Gamer Boy shirt?
SGBstore.com.
SGBstore.com.
Hit it.
Dress yourselves
Hit it.
in all of the latest Super Gamer Boys attire. Look fancy. Be the talk of the town.
Heck
yeah.
yeah.
Grab a sticker.
Oh, 100%.
You stick it on the haters.
You can find me online at gmorlang on Twitter and Instagram.
Adrian, what about you?
You can find me everywhere but PSN at Homeboy.
Shots fired.
Dan.
And DG Elliott, pretty much on all social media platforms.
And Dan, you stream now too, don't you? You're like
I do. I
You
just
better with that setup, man. You're looking crystal clear over there.
Yeah,
Like,
you look
good
really
audio.
good.
3 weeks ago I started streaming, so yeah,
Nice.
it's a good time.
You look really good.
What's
man.
your
You look better than me.
URL? Twitch.tv slash.
It is twitch.tv/DG Elliott.
Cool.
There you
What are you
go.
streaming right now?
My last stream was Cyberpunk, actually.
Oh, so
It was-
it a 3-hour stream? People must have really entertained with all that menu work you did.
It was like 4 hours, maybe.
4 hours, maybe.
I played Among Us after that, so mixture.
Oh, okay.
It was
okay,
3 hours of Cyberpunk and an hour of Among
Yeah.
Us.
I hate.
okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, I love you, dude. I have been your host, Zech Keenan, at NerdDadZech on pretty much anything you'll find out there, Twitter, Instagram. I do have a Twitch, but I gotta say it'll be the deadest Twitch stream you follow or Twitch channel you follow. So, thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Until next time, have a good night and stay out of Night City until they patch it. Later.